Good morning, Ray here, not that one. I am very tenacious. I am back on the Broads. And I've set off this morning and yeah, I've travelled up the Ants and I'm now at the end of the River Bure. I have been pushing into a fairly stiff headwind, to say the least, in some places. Even had some white caps on the Bure. Has been quite tough going, but I'm now joining the River Thurne, and because we're now taking a fairly sharp left-hand turn, I should have a tailwind. Oh, happy days. Yeah, no, this is gonna be a nice stretch. So on this trip, I'm going to paddle up towards Hickling Broad, which is going to take me about 3 hours. I'm going to set up a canoe shelter for tonight, and we've got some good food to cook up later on, and a decent breakfast in the morning. So hang around, there'll be plenty of things to see. So as you can see, I'm out in Ruby. It's the first trip of the new year. And I could tell as soon as I opened the garage how excited she was. Practically jumped onto the car roof by herself, with a little assistance. But no, we should be good. I look like a lovely silhouette, so. Yes, no, it should be, this should be pretty good actually. The water level has dropped so much since I was last here. So I have high hopes that I might be able to make a wild camp tonight. I have come prepared for one. I've not gone mad. I've just brought more or less the basics. Let's call it basics plus. After I'd finished climbing all the Wainwrights in the Lake District, which I did in about a year, a bit of a loose end. So after that I decided I was going to walk all the footpaths. I walked the Peddars Way, I walked the Angles Way, the Wherryman's Way, the Boudica Way. Yeah, and some others that can't be called at the moment. And yeah, and I was walking down that section of the river here, which is quite nice now to be back on the water. Because this section here, we're now coming into Thurne. I haven't been down here probably about 3 years since I was last down here, and had a camp out, which was actually just quite a nice night. It was a bit later in the year than this, but even so, we should be okay. So once we pass Thurne, and we got the big old white windmill here, which in my landscape photography days, I had some rather nice pictures of this mill. And I did sell a few of those. They went quite well for a while. But I'm going to stop here. I've brought some breakfast with me, and I was going to stop at St Benet's Abbey, but because the wind was whipping down there and it was quite wavy, I thought I'm not going to park Ruby there and get battered by the waves up against the moorings. So I carried on, and my plan is I'm going to just pull up here somewhere and have my breakfast because I'm getting a bit hungry. But what an absolutely fantastic day. After all the doom and gloom we've had for the last week or so, cloud and rain, today we've actually got the sun out. God, what a bonus. The wind is generally light today, saying about 13 miles an hour, but with gusts up to 25 when they come in. And tomorrow I think we've got winds of about 15 miles an hour and the gusts are going up to 30. There is quite a bit of space down here, so we'll be okay. This is nice. Brought my healthy breakfast with me. I've been a bit lax of late. Started slipping into some bad habits again. So time to nip that in the bud. Get back to healthy living. So I've got my full fat Greek yogurt, a bit of kefir in there, and some fruit, frozen fruit, well that was when I put it in, and some nuts. Tim Spector's breakfast of choice, apparently. Very nice little village, this. Got the Lion Inn behind us. That looks like a nice pub. Can't say I've ever been in there, but it looks different. This is so good. Really nice. Oh, it's a real pleasure paddling in these conditions. It's really rather nice. All the time in the world. Yeah, this is lovely. Made all the better by a bit of sunshine. And the next place we will pass will be Potter Heigham. Although it's been suggested to me, but it's not actually pronounced Potter Heigham. Apparently the locals call it Potterham, which is no surprise, being in Norfolk. When you consider the lighthouse at Happisburgh is pronounced Haysborough, then Potterham for Potter Heigham does make a bit more sense. But I've been through Potter Heigham loads of times and I've never heard that before, so if anyone's got any comments on Potterham, you know where to put them. Down below. So we're now leaving Thurne behind and its lovely windmill section of tailwind. It's going to be lovely. I also wanted to give a little mention to probably two of my youngest fans. And you'll know who you are, Samuel and Oscar. So I hope you're enjoying this one, guys. I haven't seen many swans yet, but I'm sure we will. So you'll have to get on to your dad to get you out in a canoe. That's all right, Matt, don't mention it. We are ripping along now. I'm sorry you seem to be pointing into the sun. I'm going to stop in a minute and have a little change around. Waterside estate agents for sale. There you go, look. Nice little riverside cottage, complete with, well, run down timber shingle shed, I suppose. No thank you, I don't think I could handle that. As nice as it would be, but I think having a continuous train of motorboats going past your front garden wouldn't be ideal. But that's just me. Obviously I can be a miserable git at times. But I do like my peace and quiet. Which is possibly why I spend a great deal of time by myself. Yeah, we're up a little bit of a headwind again there. Not too much, just a waft. Which is good, because that means on the way back we'll have a mixture of head and tail. You will see quite a few sights as we go through here, because a lot of this does remind me of a shanty town, because there's oodles of these cabins in various states of repair all the way down here and the other side. Usually a vast collection of rubbish outside as well. Another fine collection. The Wendy house. Kingfisher Cottage. Shame I haven't painted it blue. Well, that one is called Private No Mooring. I've seen quite a few named that, but the postman has a right laugh. Well, I think we'll give the left and the right a miss. Even in a canoe, I'm not going to fit through those. And if that said there's 6.5 feet under this centre one, obviously it's only at the middle point, so unless you've got a pointy boat, I think you're going to be struggling getting through that. There's a lot of battle scars from people who have tried. Sound horn. I haven't got one. Oh! Oh! Oh, look at the damage. Oh! Oh! Had any luck catching those swans yet then? It's only one swan actually. There's South Fork. Anybody remember Dallas? Yeah, that's gone back a while, isn't it? I was very young when that was on. It was quite popular for a load of old rubbish. Sorry, don't want to upset any Dallas fans. If there is still any Dallas fans. That's rather secluded. Heap of fresh wood outside, so it's obviously having something done to it. Well, I must say it's been rather a boring, uneventful journey so far. That it has. There's often reasons why I never go back to places for several years, and I think I now understand why. Don't get me wrong, it's okay, but you know, it's not quite the River Waveney, is it? Actually, yeah, peewits. Huh. Yeah, a whole load of peewits. Somebody's having some fun with a 12 bore. Headwind and the tide. Well, it's not a million miles up here before we turn off towards Hickling Broad, which is a rather nice area actually. I'm hoping to spend the night somewhere near that. Usually there's a fair bit of wildlife action, particularly of the wider variety, and geese. Now if it's going to be windy and lots of gusts, I don't know. I was thinking I'd have a little trip round Hickling Broad, but that isn't the best place when that's windy. That is the largest lake in the Broads, and I have been across it before when it's been quite windy, and that can be rather hard work. But you know, it's nothing so I can't skirt around the edge, so we'll have to see. But I think what we'll do now is we'll get to somewhere I'm hoping to camp, and I think we'll just start setting up, because it's going to take it's probably going to take an hour to set up, and I won't be there till after 2, so that'll put us till after 3, and it'll start getting dark not long after 4, so it'll be nice to be set up for then. So tonight I am hoping to make a canoe shelter. I've only got obviously I've got the canoe, and I brought a tarp, that's all. So I'm hoping to make a shelter out of the canoe and the tarp. I have got a couple of little ground sheets and my bivvy bag and obviously sleeping bag. And that's it really. Now I have brought various things for cooking with. I've got the Trangia, and I've got a Pico grill, and I have got a bag with some wood in. I've also brought my lantern, which might be nice once it gets dark, because I'm hoping to cook a reasonably substantial meal tonight. So I need to set these tarps up in such a way that I will have a sheltered area to to use that. And then we've got plenty of good food to eat. I've also bought a dessert as well. I'm sure nobody can guess what that'll be, as I so enjoyed them last time. Then my weekend treat in the morning will be an omelette. So we've got a bit of cooking going on. Hello, ducks. Hickling and Halsey. Oh yes, looks like we've got a tailwind. A huge lump of soil with reeds attached on the bank there, which is really difficult to get in. I've just managed to drag it out a bit, so hopefully now we'll be able to land and see what it's all about. Right, this is the spot, so let's have a look and see. It's a bit wet down here, but as we go up a bit higher. Right, it's a bit different to what I remember it. I'm sure last time I was in a nice open spot. I have a feeling that must have been here. Oh. Then we've also got this spot here. Yeah. Several years since I was here, so things do change. I don't know what's through here, but it's not looking that. Oh, it's not looking that handy, is it? You can see that's been flooded here very recently. Yeah, so well, I suppose that's reasonably flat, isn't it? Ish. It's a bit nearer the water. Not that there should be much going on here. No way boat traffic, I wouldn't have thought. Of course, it's never as comfortable as it looks when you lie down. I think that's probably better than this spot. Possibly. Let's have another look. Yeah, I mean, you can see the water levels just there, look. So this does seem altogether boggy of that. So my only play is here. So $6 million question. Do I want to spend the night here? Not but that guy down there is bloody circular saw. Yeah, I might just sit here and have a coffee first, actually, and then decide on the best play. You can certainly hear the wind blowing through. It doesn't seem to be penetrating into here, which is rather nice. Not yet. Don't want to be too confident. We're off. I quite just like using the four-sided part of the honey stove when I'm making coffee, because my mug is a dead tight fit in the top, so you don't get any wasted heat. Aha! Okay, I've had a little change of mind. That's the area where I was going to set up, because it's relatively level, but I've now looked at the main path here, and this is relatively level as well, and it's significantly higher than that piece by probably 10 inches or so. So in theory, that should be dry. So I'm now going to set up through here, and there's a reasonably level spot there to lie on, so that's looking pretty decent. So I think that's the plan. So I'm going to have a coffee, then we'll see about getting a canoe round and setting up some sort of shelter.